Hello, and welcome to Know Your Numbers Part 2, Interpreting Your Lab Results. My name is Lauren, and I'm a registered dietitian with Rock Valley Health. Here today to continue our in-depth overview of the lab values and results that you get completed as part of your health assessments with Davenport Fire in partnership with Rock Valley Health. So again, hopefully by the end of this video, you'll have a better understanding of those lab results and what those values mean and how they relate to your overall health and wellness. So let's get started. So today we're going to focus on the CMP lab values, which is a comprehensive metabolic panel. It actually measures 14 different substances in your blood and provides us with information about your body's chemical balance and how it metabolizes certain nutrients into energy. And it's also an important indicator of liver and kidney health, as well as your blood sugar levels and fluid and electrolyte balance. And for this test specifically, it is really important to make sure that you fast for 10 to 12 hours for accurate results. So here are the 14 lab values that the comprehensive metabolic panel includes. The first being glucose and a variety of electrolytes, including sodium, potassium, and calcium, and then total protein and albumin, bilirubin, BUN, which is your blood urea nitrogen, creatinine, bicarbonate, chloride, and then a few liver enzymes are the last numbers here, which are abbreviated as AST, ALT, and ALP. So the first question as part of our knowledge breaks here is which of the following is not a reason to conduct a CMP or a comprehensive metabolic panel? Is it A, to check your blood sugar levels, B, to monitor your liver and kidney function, C, to monitor your immune health, D, to check fluid and electrolyte balance, or E, to assess your body's metabolic health? All right, so the first lab value as part of the CMP is your glucose, and this is also known as your blood sugar. It basically is an indicator for your diabetes risk, and the normal range we would like to be for fasting blood sugar or your glucose is less than 100. Pre-diabetes range is more like 100 to 125, and diabetes range is higher than 126. So, as a registered dietitian, I did want to include some nutrition tips on how to improve your glucose and diabetes risk if you have a lab value that is more in that pre diabetic or diabetic category. So, we really want to focus on minimizing added sugars. So, these are obviously the desserts and sweets and sugary beverages, things like pop and um, anything with added sugar that you may be drinking on a regular basis. And we also want to minimize your intake of those processed and refined carbohydrates. So those are going to be things like the white breads and pastas, white rice, and obviously the baked goods. Most of them are just made with plain white flour. And we, instead of having the processed and refined carbohydrates, we want to focus on incorporating healthier sources of carbohydrates. So these are things with more fiber to help control your blood sugar levels, things like fruits and vegetables, low fat dairy products, and beans and whole grains instead of the processed refined grains. And so whole grains are things like whole wheat or whole grain breads and pastas, anything with whole in the name that you see on the product or in the ingredient list. And then having brown rice and things like oatmeal and popcorn are also good sources of whole grains. And to help improve your blood sugar levels, we also want to make sure that you are eating at consistent intervals throughout the day to support that healthy blood sugar control throughout the day. Because if you go longer periods between eating occasions, this can cause large changes in your blood sugar, which over time it can make that fasting blood sugar level increase and negatively impact that level over time. So, question two for our knowledge break here is what dietary changes can you make to improve your glucose or your blood sugar? Is it A, consume less whole grain products? B, eat larger meals and snacks throughout the day? C, minimize your intake of added sugars and processed carbohydrates? Or D, don't eat too much fruit because these are higher in sugar? So our next value as part of the comprehensive metabolic panel is sodium. And this is an electrolyte that helps control the amount of water in your body. It controls your blood pressure and also helps support nerves and muscles. The normal range is listed on the screen there. And so low sodium, this is called hyponatremia. So this can be caused by dehydration, any kind of diuretic medications, excess water intake as well, but this is more rare. Um, and having a low sodium is also indicative of heart, liver, or kidney issues. And then a high sodium level, this is called hypernatremia. This can again be caused by dehydration or water loss, and this can also be indicative of kidney disease or diabetes. The next lab value here as part of the comprehensive metabolic panel is potassium. Potassium is an electrolyte that also helps control the amount of water in your body. It also controls your blood pressure and supports nerves and muscles. The normal range is listed on the screen there. And so low potassium, this is called hypokalemia. So low potassium can be caused by diuretics, medications, vomiting or diarrhea, excess sweating, and not eating enough potassium-rich foods. High potassium, on the other hand, is called hyperkalemia. This can usually be an indicator of kidney issues, and it can also be caused by dehydration. It's really important, though, that to watch if your potassium gets higher than 6 millimoles per liter. This is really dangerous for your heart, and it can cause an irregular heartbeat and lead to a heart attack. So having a really, really high potassium level is really dangerous, and we want to make sure that is monitored closely. All right, so as a dietitian, I wanted to throw another nutrition tip in there. So here's a basic list of some foods to consume for healthy potassium levels. You'll see there are a variety of fruits and vegetables are the main sources, as well as beef, fish, and poultry, so more lean meats. Also things like nuts, low-fat milk, yogurt, beans, and granola are all really good sources of foods to help raise your potassium levels if they are low. So, question three, which of the following food combinations is the best choice to support healthy potassium levels? Is it A, fruit salad with berries, grapes, and pineapple? B, a deli wrap with low sodium turkey, spinach, and a whole grain tortilla? C, an egg and cheese omelet? D, a yogurt and granola parfait topped with nuts? Or E, a steak sandwich with french fries? Our next value as part of the comprehensive metabolic panel is calcium. So, calcium, everyone knows, is really good for your bone health. It's mostly stored in your bones, but it's also in your blood. And dairy products are the best sources of calcium. Our goal should be to get 3 servings per day of dairy products to make sure we're getting enough calcium. The normal range is listed on your screen there. And low calcium, this is called hypocalcemia. This is most likely related to a low vitamin D level because vitamin D helps our bodies absorb calcium. And so, if you have minimal dietary intake from of calcium in your diet, your body can actually take the calcium from your bones that's stored in your bones to use it in your blood. And because your body is taking the calcium that's stored in your bones, this can lead to weak and brittle bones, which isn't is especially detrimental as we get older. And high calcium is called hypercalcemia. This can be related to thyroid issues and can be caused by certain diuretic medications. And also, not just a low calcium, but a high calcium level can also weaken your bones and cause kidney stones. So the next couple of values as part of the comprehensive metabolic panel is your total protein and your albumin. These are both types of protein in your blood. They help fight disease and build muscle. And the normal values for these are listed on your screen there. And it's a common misconception that a high protein diet actually does not cause high blood protein levels. Um, and low levels of these are most likely caused by infection and inflammation, liver and kidney issues, and also malnutrition. In extreme cases, can cause low levels of these numbers. So the next three values as part of the comprehensive metabolic panel is your bilirubin, BUN, which is your blood urea nitrogen, and creatinine. These are three values that measure your liver and kidney function. The normal ranges are listed on your screen there. Note that creatinine values are different for men and women. So low levels of these are indicative of liver and kidney issues. A low protein diet can cause these to be low, as well as low muscle mass. And then high levels are also indicative of liver and kidney issues, can also be caused by dehydration as well as a very high protein diet. So these three lab values are more related to your protein intake than the total protein and the albumin that we discussed. All right, so our next question here, which of the following is not a cause of altered albumin, bilirubin, creatinine, or BUN levels? Is it A, very high or very low protein diet? B, liver disease? C, kidney disease? D, increased fat or muscle mass? Or E, malnutrition? So the next two values as part of the comprehensive metabolic panel are chloride and bicarbonate. So these help control carbon dioxide levels in your body. And chloride is essential for fluid balance and it helps produce stomach acid, which is helpful for proper digestion. The normal ranges for these are listed on your screen. And so if you have low chloride in bicarbonate or high levels of chloride or bicarbonate, these can both be related to dehydration, vomiting, or diarrhea, and also be indicative of kidney, liver, and heart issues. All right, so the last three values as part of our comprehensive metabolic panel is AST, ALT, and ALP. These are three different liver enzymes that are important for breaking down proteins. You'll see the normal values listed there on your screen for each. So, high levels of any of these liver enzymes are likely indicative of liver diseases like hepatitis, non alcoholic fatty liver disease, excess alcohol intake, or excess intake of generic pain medications like Tylenol or ibuprofen. And low levels of these liver enzymes are indicative of liver disease, things like jaundice and ascites, or any kind of inflammation. All right, so that wraps up the second portion of our lab value overview. I hope you guys have gotten some increased knowledge about even more of your lab values as part of your health assessments with Rock Valley Health and have been able to learn more about how they impact your disease risk and overall health and wellness. So next up, you will be testing your knowledge again with a post video quiz.